Hey there. I was just doing some self-care and unraveling, and I noticed something, and I'm curious if you ever notice this too. You ever notice like you're in a yoga class and you're fully present with the teacher, and then all of a sudden you've moments, minutes, however long has gone by, and you realize you checked out. You were kind of maybe just going through the motions, but not really any any longer fully present or tracking what was going on. Maybe you're listening to a podcast or an audio, online webinar of a course or whatever, and you notice like you're in your thoughts. You're either judging what they're saying, um, either as, oh, well, stuff I already know, or just off thinking about your laundry list, or, you've checked out in some way. And so I'm curious for you to notice those times when you check out. And I'm curious even more, actually, about what that's about, right? When we jump away from things. So, for instance, right now, I was on the floor doing some self-massage release work for my belly. I had acupuncture over a week ago, one needle in my low belly and this huge bruise, and it's just starting to clear. And so I was aware of some stagnation in that area that I've been wanting to like give some attention to. I mean, I'd been giving it Reiki, but like actually, get in there and help things move through. And so I was doing that on the floor. And I realized I hit this one particular spot and it felt like a pebble. It felt like a little, rock that would get in your shoe when you're walking. And two things. As I went to press into it, and I could feel it actually, I guess there's three things. It was really intense. And I felt my whole body in this conditioned response around that, this huge, metaphorical or literal need to wail, scream, cry, like it's like so torturously painful, and my whole body kind of contract around it. And I realized that was actually the shadow, the leftover of when it used to be like a whole boulder in my gut, like this black, icky, gooey, etheric mess of whatever metaphorical shit I was carrying around. And now it's really literally just like one of those little pebbles that gets in your shoe and is annoying. It, still work to do, still more to be done, but that it didn't require or need or even call for the same intensity of a response, of a protection, of a holding. Like, oh, it was okay. As I was pressing it, I actually felt my body start to go into like maybe even wanting to like scream, this, deep guttural wail. But right as I started to go into that, I felt that little pebble underneath my fingers soften and release, actually. And I remembered to, and I breathed. And then I kept breathing and I kept pushing, searching around, and I realized, oh, it opened. However, in that process, I noticed like halfway, like right as it was starting to happen, like, oh, a thought would pop into my head and I'd want to like pop out and grab my phone, which was laying on the floor next to me, or want to get up and write something, or get up and make this video, or, like all these seemingly like, useful things. We can validate all the reasons why that would have been okay. But in reality, it was me just kind of checking out from potential discomfort, checking out from, it's like my subconscious not wanting to let it go, and finding these sneaky ways to get us to jump out of presence with the moment, presence with what's emerging, presence with being with the discomfort. And instead, by staying just one more breath, as I often encourage people in my blindfolded movement journeys, just stay one more breath behind the blindfold. And if you still want to go, take it off, whatever, right? So it's just staying one more breath and actually remembering to apply that in those moments when it's most habitual to do the opposite, when the reflex is to get away, to jump out, to check out, to move away. And just to be with, because how quickly on the other side was it able to just soften and release and move through. So noticing when you're checking out and what that's about. And sometimes it's because we have our own judgments and we can project those out onto someone else. Like it would be really easy for anyone right now to be projecting out onto me whatever judgments you have you're still working through on whatever level in yourself, right? And so this level of inquiry that I like to do with myself, these games I like to play, these awareness games with myself, I like to share them, and I share them vulnerably because I've been working with them for a while, and I do feel really well integrated. And like I said, I feel like some of the pieces that were, like these huge boulders are now, more like the size of the pen here, right? And as long as we're alive, there's still more growth to do, And so noticing when you tend to jump out versus lean in, and starting to become more aware and choose consciously versus reactively or habitually. Bruce Lipton says our cells have two choices. They can either be in growth or protection, right? We can either be receptive or projecting, leaning in or jumping out. Staying separate, staying stuck, or moving forward into transformation and growth. So these sorts of self-reflection games, these sort of reflective processes that I love to play and also offer to my clients and people who come to my workshops, play shops, they're really tools for accelerating your transformation. And they're also, if you allow them to be, they're fun and insightful. They can sometimes be uncomfortable to see or to be with or to literally feel. And when you stay just one breath more and you start to feel the energy liberated, the shift happening, the lightness, the space created in your mind, in your body, in your being as a result of allowing yourself to stay just as present with the uncomfortable moments as you do with the comfortable moments. Magic happens. Feel free to reach out and let's chat about how we can create more of that for you. Until then, bye-bye.